Good morning, grade 12 boys and girls. I hope you have been enjoying the videos we've made you with a Letterland lesson and some fun dance songs. So for today's video, we are going to do our next Letterland lesson. So to warm up our voices, we're going to take a minute and sing our Letterland song.
Letterland, Letterland, there could be no better land for meeting a duck, a man with a hat, an orange or two, and a clever old cat. So let's go to Letterland, Letterland, Letterland. Walter Walrus Wetterland needs slithering Sam, a king who can kick, a quarrelsome queen, or make noisy Nick. So let's go to Letterland, let's go to Letterland today.
Well done, boys and girls. Now that our voices are all warmed up, we can begin with our lesson. Let's look at the letter we are learning about. Can you tell me what sound this letter makes? That's right, it makes a H. It is for Harry Hatman. Can you guess where his head would be? What about his back? And his feet? And do you think he is walking in the reading direction? Let's turn the card around and have a look. Were you right? Is this how you thought he would look? Very good. Why do you think he is called Harry, the hairy hat man? Do you think it's because he has a hairy hat or lots of hair on his head? One thing I do know about Harry Hatman is the people of Letterland think very highly of him. Thinking very highly of someone means you think very good things about them. The people of Letterland think very highly of Harry Hatman because he is a good friend. He is always helpful, he does not harm anyone, and he likes to make others around him happy. There is one very important thing you need to know about Harry Hatman though, and that is that he hates noise. Now I know in class we don't like to use the word hate. We rather say I don't like, but for the purpose of this lesson we will use the word hate because Harry Hatman hates noise, and hate starts with his H sound. This is why Harry Hatman never speaks louder than in a whisper, and you have to listen very carefully just to hear his sound. Let's look at his letter and see if we can notice something about his feet. Can you see any shoes on his feet? No. If you were trying to walk around your house quietly, would you wear shoes? No, that's right, because they would make a noise. So he doesn't wear any shoes. He would rather walk around barefoot because wearing shoes would be louder than his soft, whispering H sound. Now that we know that Harry Hatman hates noise, when we practice making his sound, we need to remember that it is a whispering H sound. So I'm going to load the song and we can sing through it together, practicing the whispering H sound Harry Hatman makes.
Harry Hatman whispers, whispers, whispers. Harry Hatman whispers, he never talks out loud. Harry Hatman whispers, whispers, whispers. Harry Hatman whispers, he never talks out loud. Harry Hatman whispers, whispers, whispers. Harry Hatman whispers, he never talks out loud. Harry Hatman whispers, whispers, whispers. Harry Hatman whispers, he never talks out loud.
Well done. Now, when I think of Harry, the hairy hat man, I wonder to myself, how will his house look? Do you think it is full of hats? Or maybe in his house he has a hairy carpet? I also think to myself, what kind of hobbies do you think he would have? Do you think he would like playing hopscotch or going hand gliding? When you feel hungry, what food do you like to eat? I can imagine that Harry, the hairy hat man, likes to eat things like honey, hamburgers, ham and hot dogs. All things beginning with his H sound. One thing I do know is he really does like to make all of his friends happy. The next part of our lesson we are going to do is we are going to learn how to write Harry Hatman's letter. So let's very carefully watch the video and practice tracing it in the air as the song goes along.
Hurry from the hat man's head down to his heel on the ground. Go up and bend his knee over so he'll hop while he makes his sound. Hurry from the hat man's head down to his heel on the ground. Go up and bend his knee over so he'll hop while he makes his sound. Hurry from the hat man's head down to his heel on the ground. Go up and bend his knee over so he'll hop while he makes his sound.
Well done, boys and girls. I hope you were tracing that in the air as you were watching the song and practicing. Now, let's see if I can do it. From the video, I know we have to go from Harry Hatman's head down to his heel on the ground and then go up and bend his knee over so he can hop without making a sound. Very good. Now, we know how to write the lowercase letter, but we need to learn how to write Harry Hatman's capital letter. So first let's have a look at him and talk a little bit about him before we learn how to write him. Alright, this is how Harry Hatman's capital letter looks. Doesn't it look strange? Very different from this one. In the capital letter, we can see Harry Hatman is doing a special trick. Now, Harry Hatman tells us he is very happy by doing this trick. He is doing a handstand with his hat on. It's important to remember that he only does a handstand in his letter when he is starting an important word like a name or a word at the beginning of the sentence. Next, we are going to learn how to write his capital letter. When we are writing Harry Hatman's capital letter, it is important to start on the left and at the top. So we are going to start by his foot and go down to his hand so that he can stand on it. Now don't forget the other foot. Go down to his hand so that he can stand on it. Which part do you think we are missing? The part for his head, that is right. So we need to join the two together in the middle. Now that we have learned how to write Harry Hatman's letter, let's look at the poster and see if you can help me identify the names of some of the pictures. I think all the pictures on this poster will start with Harry Hatman's H sound. Let's start with the picture at the top. We have a house. H, house. Very good. Right down here and up here we have two hands. H, hands. We also have a heart, hat, and huggies, nappies, beginning with H. Heart, H, hat, and H, huggies, nappies. We have two beautiful handbags at the top. H, handbag. The word happy. H, happy. I was so happy to make a dance video for you yesterday. A horse, a helicopter, and a very juicy hamburger. I think I should have a hamburger for lunch. H, hamburger. Next, we are going to read Harry Hatman's story. I hope you enjoy it. For today's story, we will be reading about Harry Hatman and his habit. Let's see what this story is all about. Harry Hatman lives in a house halfway up a hill. He makes hundreds of hats to sell in his hat shop. Let's say hello to Harry Hatman. Hold on, I forgot to tell you. Oh, but I didn't. I told you he hates noise. That's why when he goes into words, he only whispers his sound. Look, he doesn't even wear shoes because he thinks they make too much noise as he hops along. So let's just whisper hello to Harry. Hello. Can you hear him whispering in words like hat, house, hand, hello, and hill? H, hat, H, house, H, hello, H, hand, H, hill. Can you see his house? His house has a hat on. H, hat. Harry Hatman was happily sitting in his house making hats when Quarrelsome Queen knocked at the door. "Hello, your highness," said Harry. "How can I help?" Quarrelsome Queen had come to pick up a new hat for one of her horses. Harry Hatman hurried off to find the hat. He had so many hats he had to hunt high and low to find it. As he hunted, he hummed. "Be quiet," said the Queen. "That's a horrid habit you have, Harry." So in this part of the story, some of the words that begin with Harry Hatman's sound are hum, h, hat, h, and habit. Harry had hardly noticed that he hummed, and he hadn't thought of humming as a horrid habit. After the Queen had gone with the hat for her horse, Harry went to see Firefighter Fred to see if he had noticed his habit of humming. "Fred," he called when he spotted him in his fire engine, "have you noticed I have a horrid habit of humming?" "Harry, I think your humming is fantastic. I can think of far more frustrating habits than that. I'm forever fidgeting, said Firefighter Fred. That's my funny habit. Just then, Munching Mike came rolling by. Mike, said Harry, do you think my humming is horrid? My, no, not at all. I think your humming is marvellous. A real horrid habit is munching with your mouth open. My mum is always reminding me not to munch like that. My mouth must be closed when I have a mouthful. Noisy Nick was listening from up in the nut tree. I agree with Mike, he said. Your humming is nice. My horrid habit is nibbling my nails. I'm trying hard to never nibble them again. Harry had started to feel a little happier. Happier starts with her. As he hopped off, he popped in to see Peter Puppy. Peter Puppy was busy picking at a plaster with his paw. Oh, now that is a horrid habit, said Harry Hatman. Peter Puppy stopped right away. Good puppy, said Harry. Now I will take a photo of you. Peter Puppy was pleased to pose for the photo. He loves having his photo taken by Harry Hatman. Harry was heading home, but he called Clever Cat for a cup of cocoa on the way. Have you noticed I have a horrid habit of humming? He asked Clever Cat. Clever Cat carefully considered her answer and concluded it was not a horrid habit at all. Actually, I think it's rather charming, she sneezed. I'm always careful to cover my mouth when I cough or sneeze. Not covering your mouth is a horrid habit. Now you'll have to hop off, Harry, as that hairy hat of yours is making me sneeze. She said. Harry hopped back up the hill, but all of a sudden he heard Sammy Snake slithering up behind him and hissing. Shh, Harry said. You know I hate noise. Sorry, said Sammy. Talking of noises, said Harry, maybe you can help me. Have you ever heard my humming? Do you think it's horrid? Sammy smiled. No, I think it's splendid, smashing, super. In fact, who said it was horrid? The Queen, said Harry. What's all this about me? Said the Queen's quarrelsome voice. Then the Queen quickly appeared with her hands on her hips. I did not say that. You're quite wrong. I like your humming, she quarrelled. Harry laughed. He should have known the Queen was just being quarrelsome when she told him that his humming was a horrid habit. Hooray, thought Harry Hatman. Now I can be happy again when I hum. Hum. He is so happy he can hum again. I really hope you enjoyed listening to the story all about Harry Hatman. So, For today's lesson, I would like to ask all the moms and dads to make sure that you have empty pieces of paper that you can practice Harry Hatman's letter formation on, making sure you are practicing his capital letter and his lowercase letter, and you can watch the clips in the video as many times as you want. And then, as a fun art activity, I thought if mom and dad gave you some scrap pieces of paper, you could cut out shapes and create or design Harry Hatman's very own house. Now remember, we're all different, so it doesn't matter how your house comes out. You could even cut a hairy hat to put on your house. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, grade R.